Hello there, Michael back again. Credit 1, Part 3. Hopefully this will be the last part. Well, maybe not, but, you know, for fun of it. I may make this a tad longer if need be. Well, in the last part we heard about that a card being on hold, and supposedly with the fraud team looking at it, it was being used. How could it be used with the fraud team looking at it and the card on hold? Well, Credit 1 took the card off hold the Monday after I called in on a Friday. The first full second week of the month. Soon as that Monday morning hit and their doors opened, they took the hold off of it. And they admitted to it. Finally, they took the hold off. And the guy that I had spoken to and who claimed that he was going to issue me a new card never did. He never once issued me a new card. And there was never hold. To be honest with you, there was never hold on the card. The card was never placed on hold. And what happened was, the wife and I, we did some research, and we found out that there is over 1,000 pages or more of people who are so pissed off at this company that they're getting ready to sue them. One, you don't know who in the world the main man is who runs the place. They won't tell you. Number two, you'll be lucky the people you talk to do not speak English. They're from either India, Philippines, or Africa somewhere. They just love to be yelled at. Their motto is, they're right, you're wrong. They don't believe in the customer's always right and the company's wrong. The company's right, you're wrong. So to be very honest with you folks, I went from $125 credit usage to over $400 in whole. Now, don't know how this happened, but when I started reading the reports, I figured it out real quick. Credit 1, what they do is they issue a card in your name, and then they turn around and about 2 or 3 months later they find out how your usage of that credit is. Once they find out how you use the credit, if you're you're really you're running through it, or if you're real conservative, what they'll do is they'll send another card. They'll issue another card to another couple or person on your account. Now, is that legal? No, it's fraud. It's fraudulence. And they can go to jail for it. Oh, but they're not them. They're perfect. They're God. They're Jesus Christ. Excuse my way I talk there to all Christians and church-going people. But I kept track of the balance, and when I called in, I read off my card number and my first and last name and my last four of my social. Well, their balance is right. I said, well, Jesus Christ. Well, my name isn't Jesus Christ. Well, I said, yes, it is. You work for Credit 1, and if you're not going to admit to your faults and errors, then that's what you are. I said, you're not perfect. Well, I didn't say I was. Well, then how come you're not willing to fix this, fix this? Oh, well, blah, blah this and blah, blah that. Well, after a long while of fighting back and forth, I finally got an idiot manager. All their managers are idiots. You could take them out and use them for ball bats. I could take a ball bat, hit them in the head, and hit home runs with them. They're useless. They're not worth the paper they're wrote on, and I just, was very, very displeased with them. They don't listen to you. They disrespect you. They laugh at you. They, oh well, you don't know what you're talking about, and nobody's going to come pick me up, and that's where I'm going. It's where I want to go. And I asked one guy if his mommy got him the job, and he didn't have no mommy. And I said, well, how were you born? And he didn't quite understand how to answer that one. But anyhow, it does get funnier as we go along, but it gets a little dirty too as well, and I'm not going to get into that. Well, to make a long story short here, and this will be the last video of this, but I was very irate with one of these managers. I was on the phone for 3.5 hours, fighting, and I mean fighting. There was names calling, there was this, there was that. You can't be professional, hang up the phone, ho. Well, an hour and a half later, we're still on the phone we're still on the phone calling each other, the SOB word, the B word, your job is on the street corner, type deal, and things like that. And he's just laughing. He thinks it's funny. I told him the federal marshals are on their way. He's committed fraud, and oh no, I don't do that. Well, the man's name is Paul, and I told him that if he would zero the account out and give me back the $300 credit limit, full credit limit, and if he would zero it out, I would make a payment. Now notice that I said payment. He didn't say how much of a payment. He didn't say what kind of a payment. He just said a payment, and he'd zero it out. Oh, now we're getting somewhere, folks. Well, those who know me know that you make me mad and you threaten me on a bill or any type of bill, I'll send you a penny per day, Monday through Friday. And I don't care if it takes all the rest of my natural born days till the day I'm stuck in the ground to pay you off. I don't care. You get a penny per day. Well, anyhow, I sat there. My wife heard it. We're sitting there talking, and I said, he didn't say how much. He didn't say $20, $30. He didn't give a no recap. He didn't even say nothing. He just said payment. And I'll be more than happy to zero it out. Great. Okay. What did I do? I typed up a letter to send it to Credit One. Told him that told him what the manager had said. Gave him his name, his number, everything. And I put the penny, took a shiny, bright new copper penny, and put it in the letter. Here's your payment. You didn't say how much, didn't say what it would be, how much, nothing. Here's your payment. Now zero the account out and do it. Do it now. Well, I sent it out. Waited. It's been over 2 weeks. Called in. Not a thing. They had not even offered to zero it out. They wanted to know who the manager was. I told him 500 times. He still asked me. The man I talked to, he didn't know whether he was pitching, catching, wiping his butt, or what he was, or taking a wee. He had no idea what he was doing. And I said, well, it's, I'm sorry. Well, he said, well, then this guy I spoke to today, he says, well, make a payment, we'll zero it out. I said, no. I said, why should I make a second payment and you can't even do the first one. You can't even, you couldn't zero it out the first time. Not playing that game. So I told him, I said, you'll do it. You'll either do it now, or you'll do it in court, and you'll do it my way. So if you get a letter from Credit One with a credit card involved, take it, wipe it in some cow poop, horse pee, cow pee, whatever you want to wipe it in. Wipe it in mud. Make it smelly. Let it sit around for a few days, and then cut it in half and send it back to them and tell them this is what you think of them and their company, because they're a whole bunch of horse pooey. And also, when they if those of you who have the card like I do, I am not making any payments. I'm not doing nothing until they do as I ask. I have also called the Attorney General and my attorney, and they're working on the matter as we speak. And when they get done with them, there's not going to be a Credit One. There might be a hole in the ground where Credit One used to be. But, sorry about that. My computer's going off and on me. But, I'm not saying they're going to blow up, but it's just the idea that, that people are going between me and everybody else that, is involved. Things are going to happen that, and federal marshals are going to come in and lock her up. And I think all these people that think, that they're running scams, and they think it's funny, and they think, oh, well, we can get away with murder. Well, believe me, there's a paper trail somewhere, and you can and will be found and prosecuted. So while you're thinking about hiding or running away, fine, go for it. But I'll tell you what, Credit One, you owe me over $250 worth of money that you are going to return, and you owe probably a lot of other people money too. So while you're, messing around doing whatever, those of you who think Credit One's great, then take your little, you got your pants on too tight, you got your underbritches on too tight, or you got your tie on too tight. It's cutting circulation off to the rest of your body. But Credit One is a useless company, and I do have their organization. I do have information to their head people, and if those of you who want it or are interested in wanting to talk to them or get hold of them, I have phone numbers, emails, everything. So this is the last part of this. Just drop me a line down below, and I will be back, with your email, and I'll email you the information. So everybody, have fun. Stay away from Credit One. And, just for the fun of it, I like to get on there and chew them out and get a good laugh. And so, I think I may just do it tonight just for the fun of it. But, and sometimes they play dumb when you read your credit, you read your credit card off to them, and you give them your first and last name and your last four of your social. They'll say, well, what's your last four of your social? Just gave that to you. No, you didn't. And they'll say, are you on a speakerphone? I'll say, no, I'm on the phone. And they'll say, no, you're on speakerphone. I'll say, no, I'm on the phone. How can I be on a speaker if I'm on the phone? And I tell them to go to the bathroom, raise the toilet lid, stick their head in, and flush, and have a nice little swirly on me, and take an extra 20-minute, pee break. So do like I did. Tell Credit One to go stick their fingers up their back sides and spin. And if you ever get a credit card from Credit One, go out back, go to a farm, I don't care what farm it is, find out where they do where the horses or cows do their bathroom breaks, and make sure you wear gloves so you don't get it on your fingers. Rub the card all in it, lay it out somewhere where it dries and gets nice and gooey and smelly, and make sure you put it, get their address, payment address. You don't want to send it to the, get their payment address. Cut it in half. Put a letter in it. Put a nice, lovely letter. Here's your horse card back. Hope you enjoy it. I hope that you enjoy the smell, because I enjoyed getting it smelly for you, and ship it back to them. Once they receive it, they open it up and they go, whoo-hoo! They'll know that, I'm say, oh, a cow did this just for you. He gave his all for you. So do us all a favor. Tell Credit One to stick it and never use them, because if you do, you'll find out that your credit limit goes from you'll have 300, and the next day you'll be over $200. You'll be 500 in the hole instead of what you should have. And again, they say they're perfect. They say they're God, Jesus Christ, whatever you might want to call them, or Muhammad, whatever you want to call them. I don't know, don't care. But do us all a favor. If I had my way, I would take some of those supervisors that I talk to, and I would find the nearest cow patty and stick their faces in them, because that's what useless as they are. And where the state that I live in, I would have them go out in the middle of the rush hour and play in traffic, and maybe we could play dodgeball. Red Skelton, when he was alive, he did a skit where pedestrian polo, and that's what I like to play. And you get so many points for hitting. We get so many points for hitting the manager, and maybe hit them twice, you get 10 points. Hit them 3 times, you get 20. Who knows? Knock them down on their butts, and semi runs over them. Well, maybe that's 50. I don't know. But anyway, stay away from Credit One. And again, if you want that information I was telling you about, just leave your email in the comment section. I'll be more than happy to send it to you. And if you want to hear more of the story, let me know, and I'll be more than happy to tell you. And if you've got a good stomach, and believe me, this is not for children to hear. It's more for adults. So, but anyway, I'm out of here, and again, this is into part 3. Bye.